Abdul, I've been thinking about what you said. And I thought when you first came to the West Coast Wrestling Company, I thought we would have a lot in common. I thought we shared some values, you and I. But you were talking about your childhood. You talked about your childhood, about how when you were a kid, you thought the world was full of honest, hard-working people. Where the hell were you living? Big dog? Honest? That's not what I saw, Abdul. Thanks to men like you, that's not what I experienced. I experienced alcoholism. I experienced drugs. I experienced violence, racism, you name it, I was around it. Which is why I took the path I did. Which is why I became a Marine to begin with. Was to combat things like that. Was to combat evil. You want to talk truth? You want to talk honesty? How about the fact that you got a match with the OG of the West Coast Wrestling Company in your debut? Your first match, you weren't curtain jerking. You were wrestling the fucking man in the West Coast Wrestling Company. The guy who's been here since 2008. The guy who opened the show in 2008 at the debut, who climbed the ranks. The man who that night was announced as the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship. No, you got to wrestle that man. That man was me. And Abdul, truth be told, I was excited to wrestle you. Why? Because I'm going to let you in on a little bit of truth that you may not be aware of. You bit the hand that was feeding you, Abdul. I scouted you. I saw your footage. I saw you having bangers with guys like Jordan Cruz. People with talent, taking them to their limit. And I said, that's the kind of challenge I want. I need to prove myself. I was done with Joe Dredd. I closed that chapter, and I needed something else to challenge myself. And I thought you were that guy. And I went to Adam Ginsburg and said, I want to wrestle him. And what did you do? Fair and square, you lost, dude. It happens. You've lost elsewhere. You've won elsewhere. And it wasn't even going to end up being your first match, but you couldn't let it go. So instead of taking your L like a man and deciding you were going to climb the ranks fairly, no. Instead, you allowed me to live rent-free in your brain. You obsessed over me. You obsessed over another opportunity to beat me, to get your win back. So much so that you lost again in the Wild Card Championship tournament because you were thinking about me. It's my fault you lost. Everything is my fault. Because you can't take accountability for anything, not even your losses. So you get another chance at me in January. And even then, Abdul, you might have won that match fairly. We'll never know. Because we were going back and forth, beating the crap out of each other. And you could have beat me. But instead, you resorted to cheating. You threw fire in my face. Abdul, what kind of consequences were you not aware? That is assault, dude. I have a family. I have a career. And you let your emotions over losing a freaking wrestling match bring you to that? Dude. You want to drive a man who has been to the darkest places in this planet to that? You want to open Pandora's box? Abdul, Jameson Stafford is like none other. Nobody has been here as long as I have. Nobody has legitimately killed like I have. And on May 18th, at Solaris, Marietta, you wanted to ride my coattails? You wanted to ride my dick to the main event? Abdul, there's only room at the top for one set of feet. And I am gonna be last man standing.